to Chef Richie's Palace, cooking segment under the YouTube channel of Raisin Raina. Today we're making salmon balls. Salmon balls is something I grew up eating in the Virgin Islands, and this is my version of salmon balls. And I started with 2 cans of salmon, and this is going to be the process that's going to take the longest, because you have to get down in there and try to remove as much of the skin and bones as you can. And then reserve the liquid from the can of salmon for a sauce. But in the salmon balls here, I'm going to be using a 1/4 cup of sofrito, a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, 1 egg, a teaspoon of sazon tropical, a teaspoon of adobo, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, salt, sage, and cumin. And that's all the seasoning I'm going to have in this. And we're going to be serving this with cheesy grits and a red tomato sauce. So once you have your salmon drained and clean, you want to go ahead and add all the ingredients in the bowl. Now, if you can't find sofrito where you're at, they have a few products in the frozen section that will work for you from Goya, and they also have some in the ethnic section in the grocery aisle. And once you have everything in there, just mix it all up. Get everything nice and combined. And it's almost like you're making meatballs. Except we're using salmon. Now after a while here, you want to go in here with your hand, because you want to make sure everything is going to stay together nicely once it combines. And I just kind of smush everything together like this. And then you can feel there's still some moisture in there from the salmon and the egg, and also from the sofrito. There's a little juices from the sofrito in there that's going to help keep this moist. Now, this is something similar to what we know here in the South as salmon croquettes, but I'm not making them flat like a hamburger. I'm making them round. I think one of the other differences here is that for salmon croquettes, you might add some mayonnaise or something else like that in there. We're not doing that.
Now, you know, I was raised with salmon croquettes, and we did not put mayo. We put almost the same things that you're putting in yours. I mean, you have more seasonings than we ever used. But,
Yeah.
But we didn't use any mayo, but they were flat.
The seasoning is good. You don't want to get too carried away, because I still want to taste some of the salmon. And then once you get it here and you see that it will stay together, you just choose whatever size you like and start rolling your balls. If I'm doing an appetizer for a party, I might go about this size. If I'm doing an entree, I might go a little bigger. One of my favorite restaurants in St. Croix used to give some nice big salmon balls. And that's where I enjoy salmon balls, because my mom didn't make salmon balls. But he made, his were bigger than this, because of course he was serving it as an entree. And he used to babysit us after school until my dad would pick us up. Mr. Brady. But anyway, this is how you roll your salmon balls. Like I said, you can go for whatever size you like or whatever shape you like. Sometimes when I'm doing appetizers for a party, I might do them like a finger. And then that helps you with dipping it in a sauce.
Oh.
So I'm going to go ahead and get these balls rolling, and when it's time to fry, we'll get back to you. And this is what the salmon balls look like after we roll them out. And you could just set them on a tray with some parchment paper. And we have another tray here with a rack where we're going to put them to cool once we get them fried. And you want your oil to be between 350 and 375 when you start frying the salmon balls. And use your spoon so you don't hurt yourself. And you don't want to put too many of them in here because it will start to bring down the temperature of the oil. So you just put them in a couple at a time. And you want to fry them until they're nice and brown. So I just keep them moving like this. Keep splashing the oil, keep them moving. And dropping them in one at a time so we don't get the oil too cold. Now while we're frying our salmon balls, we have some creamy grits going here. And we're gonna make a red sauce here to go with the salmon balls. And for the grits, all I used was 3 cups of water, 1 cup of heavy cream, and then we're gonna add some cheese, sharp white cheddar and some yellow cheddar. Typically in the Virgin Islands, we will be eating salmon balls with rice and beans, potato stuffing, baked mac and cheese, and all that good stuff. But today we're doing it American style with some cheesy grits. So the grits was 3 cups of water, 1 cup of heavy cream, about a teaspoon of salt, and about 2 tablespoons of butter. And you just cook that for about 15 to 20 minutes until they get to a nice thick consistency there. That will continue to cook as we fry. And for the sauce here, I use 1 can of tomatoes, diced tomatoes, a 1/4 cup of sofrito, and the juice from the salmon that we reserved from the cans of salmon. Then we're gonna add, you know, this ain't no recipe, this is eyeball business. So we're gonna just add a little bit of sazon tropical. You don't really see me putting a lot of salt in these recipes because everything you use already have salt in it. Once the food is done, if you want to check the to taste for salt, then you add some salt if you would like. You just have to be careful with how much salt you add when you're using sazon and adobo, because a lot of those seasonings already have salt in it. Look at these salmon balls. This is about what you're looking for right here. A nice brown color.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna be cooked all the way through. That's what we like. So once we get all these fried up, we're gonna come back with the plated dish and show you one way to enjoy salmon balls. A little twist on your salmon croquettes. We'll be back in a few minutes with the finished dish. Okay, and here we got the sauce, and because I used diced tomatoes, I want this to be a smooth sauce. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna drop my immersion blender in there and get it blended nice and smooth. And you're gonna also see that the color of the sauce is gonna change a little bit.
Careful with that fork.
And what we're trying to do here is just blend everything up. And once it's done cook it, we're gonna run it through a strainer for a nice smooth sauce. There we have it. Salmon balls with creamy grits. Creamy, cheesy grits. And this is the sauce, tomato-based sauce. And you can do it how you like. You can take some and drizzle it all over there. Or you can take your salmon balls and dip it in the sauce. Nice southern breakfast. That's piping hot. That's so good. Salmon balls. Serve it with rice and beans. Serve it with mac and cheese, potato stuffing, or with creamy grits. Thank you for joining us today in this episode of Salmon Balls. Remember, if you like what you see, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for the notification so you can see when we post new content. Thank you for joining us again, and we'll be cooking with you another day.